Good morning. It's Kurt with Norway Hill Home Inspections. In this time of the year, we have to turn our sights towards the winter weather. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about the roof of the house and how we can help prevent ice dams and water backups into the home. One of the key components to being sure that we don't get an ice backup is the ventilation that starts at the soffit and works its way up to the ridge. So the reason we form an ice dam is heat will come up from the inside of the home, enter the attic area, go up against the roof sheathing, and it will melt the snow that's on the roof. As that snow rolls down the shingles, it'll hit the soffit area, or the drip edge as we call it, and it will refreeze because that's naturally a cold area. So the goal of ventilation and insulation is to keep the roof what we call a cold roof. In other words, a roof that will not allow heat to come up against it and melt the snow. So we accomplish this a couple of different ways. We can make sure that we have the good soffit ventilation and then a good ridge ventilation, and that takes care of the natural flow of air. It'll come in from the bottom, come out the top, and pull all of the excess heat that builds up in the attic out the top and keep that roof cold. The other thing that we can do is we can add insulation. There's old saying that you can never have too much insulation, particularly in the attic. So today's standard, we want to look for an R38. If you go up into your attic, many of the older homes do not have that thickness. And it varies on the type of insulation. The R value is determined by the thickness and the type. So you want to get a good understanding. Do you have fiberglass insulation? Do you have cellulose blown in? Do you have blown in fiberglass? Jump on the internet, find out what your thickness is, what your R value is, and then you can make up that R value up to the R38 that is recommended today. One of the biggest leaks of heat that we find is actually the attic access hatch. So many of them are not insulated, so we have this beautiful cap of insulation to give you the R38, and then you have this sizable square or pull down stairs that are not insulated, and that's where all your heat's coming up. You can easily look for leaks by once you get a little dusting of snow, go out in the morning, take a walk around. Any place that you see no snow, that's an area that needs more insulation. If you have an HVAC system and you have ductwork that's running through unconditioned spaces, you definitely want to insulate the ductwork, whether that's up in the attic or even down in the basement. You want to hold that heat into the ductwork and not allow it to escape. So there's some really good insulations out there that you can wrap in. Many of the ducts today will come already pre-wrapped, which makes installation very easy. Another place that we can look is any place we have a penetration. So if we've got pipes or electrical chases coming up into the attic, we want to seal and caulk those to keep the drafts from coming up in, and that's just another area where heat can be pulled up in. So rule of thumb, let's keep our attics cold and let's keep our heat down where we need it, and that will help prevent the ice dams and water backups that have become, just part of living in New England. With a little bit of effort and a little bit of work, we can eliminate these problems.